Hey, I meant to bring this up during the Ant-Man review, but you guys went and saw it with your wives, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So I meant to ask this, kind of like a wives' corner thing. How did they like or dislike it? Because it's always an interesting aspect coming from a wife's point of view, you know, and it's not like the critiquing nerd fan,
Right.
but also half the time they kind of call out stuff that you're not expecting them to call out for being bad. So they always have an interesting take to this. I was curious.
My wife had a similar opinion I did. It was very mid, just didn't live up to previous Marvel movies.
Okay.
My wife hated it.
I was gonna say the first two downvotes on the poll on our Instagram page regarding whether you enjoyed Ant-Man Quantumania, the two no's I opened it up. It was Caleb and his wife. It's like, oh, that's funny. That's hella funny. See, yep, that's so they kind of all. This doesn't always happen though, which is why I asked. So this is kind of anticlimactic, but they kind of all seem to have the same opinion as we did, respectively. Like my wife said the same thing I did. She's like, I mean, it wasn't great, but you know, it was fun. It was a fun watch, you know, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that's interesting because sometimes though I'll come out and I'll be like, that was dope, and she'll be like, that was so dumb. Like, oh, all right,
Yeah.
well, whatever. But yeah, it's always interesting, and you know, again, we talked about like in the prior episodes where I'm like, I don't understand what's happening, and then they'll just point out something that they're correct about, and it's like, what
Right.
who do you think you are? Hello there, and welcome to another edition of Why So Sidious, a nerd podcast, where we break down all of our favorite nerd fandom properties, comic books, novels, movies, shows. It doesn't matter, we cover it, having a good time doing it. Tonight, we're gathered around our microphones to cover a very special evening that we had, which was the first episode of The Mandalorian. Star Wars is back, baby, on Disney Plus, Season 3, and we're actually getting hit with double Star Wars. Now we got Mandalorian and Bad Batch dropping on the same days on Disney Plus. So Star Wars is having a moment right now. Wow. So the Season 3 premiere just dropped, and we're going to cover it for you. But before we do that, you're going to listen to me tell you about our programming reminders coming up. And those reminders happen to include The Last of Us. We will be covering... This is loosely planned, but the last we left off, we'd be covering the last 3 episodes of the season as one big episode. We'll see how it rolls out as the next episodes play out, but follow us on social media and I'll keep you posted. How about that? We'll just lead into that. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Why So Sidious Pod for show updates, just like I mentioned, and polls, videos, news, all types of good times. So come on over. And YouTube. We are now officially on YouTube. Why So Sidious, a nerd podcast, has a YouTube presence. So go ahead, give us a subscribe, some likes, some comments, and help us grow over there. Oh, as always, top 5 Star Wars novels. So anyways, let's get into the main topic tonight. Mandalorian, Chapter 17, The Apostate. So we'll break down a quick summary for you real quick. And before I do that, here's a little spoiler warning. We haven't really given you some of those lately, so there you go. You're welcome. Yeah. Yoda's out sick tonight. He'll be back next episode. He's sick or something's wrong with him. I don't know what that was. Anyways, the quick summary of the episode here. We open up with the armorer crafting a new Mandalorian helmet for a foundling before performing a Mandalorian baptism at Lake Placid. As the foundling goes to speak the oath, a massive crocodile comes to shore. We get a crazy scene of Mandalorians versus what is essentially a kaiju before Mando sweeps down his Naboo starfighter to save the day. And if you're wondering how the hell Grogu is with Mando right now, why don't you go ahead and go back and listen to episode 48, our Mandalorian Season 3 study guide, where we catch you up on everything you missed in a totally different series that they decided to have important events happen in. Anyways, after that, the armorer gives her blessing to Mando to go to Mandalore to investigate how destroyed it really is and to bathe in the living waters beneath the mines. Before doing so, Mando needs to do a side quest because this is the Mandalorian after all. So he sets course for Navarro and we get some big hyperspace Easter eggs on the way over. We get to a thriving Navarro, and High Magistrate Grief Karga offers Mando land, but he declines. Later, he proceeds to take out pirates at a daycare center. After that, Mando tries to fix IG-11 from Season 1 to take him with him to Mandalore, but it tries to kill Grogu and they start from scratch. Mando leaves the planet to get apart and is ambushed by space pirates. In an ambitious move by James Gunn to start the new DC universe in The Mandalorian, we actually get the Swamp Thing as the captain of these pirates, so that was pretty cool. Mando hits the NOS, and like street racing in the Fast and Furious franchise, he is gone. Mando travels to Bo-Katan, only to find her army's gone and are bitter and alone as she tells Mando how little she cares about his plans to visit Mandalore. And that's a very short, under 30-minute episode. So, Star Wars is back. Real quick, before we dive into it, just, were you satisfied or unsatisfied with the episode? We'll just leave it at that. JD.
Man, no, I don't think I am. And I kind of want to go on a little rant about Star Wars. Well, it's not really a rant, but it's a weird time right now because the mediocre quality we've seen lately from Marvel is kind of what Star Wars has been giving us. And we're in a moment where it's like you can go back and watch the original Star Wars and the story's perfect. Pretty much the characters are great, but it suffers from quality a little bit. Just it's 50 years in the past. Of course, it was good for its time, but just a little nitpick. It's still very fun to watch and still nostalgic. Then you have the prequels, which are excellent character-wise. The story's amazing, but it suffers from bad acting and kind of a corny tone. And then you get to Revenge of the Sith, and that's still all good. But there's still a little bit of that. And then you get to the sequels, we have Rey and Kylo, excellent protagonist, excellent antagonist, but it suffers from a lack of cohesion, and there's always something wrong. I don't know. I mean, I can't really pick a Star Wars movie right now to watch because I've seen Rogue One so many times, and that's probably my favorite movie right now, the most rewatchable. And then you got Andor, which was amazing, but since when is Star Wars at its best without any Jedi, without any Sith?
Right.
And we used to talk about how, that is a special thing. You could do a movie or a show. We kind of want movies and shows that are more ground level without the Jedi and Sith, but then you get it and you're like, damn, I kind of missed that Jedi and Sith magic that Star Wars was all about.
Right.
So it's just weird. And then Mando comes out and it seemed like it was going to be really good. Just where the story's going, it's building to something pretty epic, it feels like. But then it comes out and it's just a super mediocre episode again. And I'm just starting to lose faith in Star Wars, man. I just want it to be, I just want like an excellent trilogy that maybe meets the tone of Rogue One, somewhere in between, like a mixture of all of them without the weird flaws that seem to be kind of nagging you when you watch the movies. Like no matter what Star Wars movie I pick, there's a little bit of something that's like, poking at you. But yeah, man. So I feel like in 5 years, I'd put money on it. If we did our top 5 fandom thing again, I think Lord of the Rings and DC are going to be the top 2 here in like 5 years because Marvel's looking kind of like they're going downhill. Star Wars hasn't really proven us, to give us any quality except with Andor, but we want Jedi and Sith. So yeah, I'm hoping it gets better, honestly.
So unsatisfied.
Unsatisfied.
All right, damn, all right. I agree with a lot of that stuff. I won't touch on all that stuff. They all have their own different flaws. Like each little movie, there's always some issue that they're not hitting correctly. And I agree, it's been on a down spiral. But I don't agree with the Mando episode. But we'll get in. Well, I guess I was satisfied with it just because I feel like all of that you said is still true. It was just a super short intro episode.
For sure.
It wasn't as good as I expected, but again, it was when I saw the runtime, I didn't expect a ton of stuff to happen. I was like, oh my God, that's a short episode. But I don't know if that like killed the momentum of the season as a whole.
I'm not giving up on the season. I'm not giving up on the season, but it's just the tone really didn't do it for me either. It's like the tone didn't have that Western feel anymore. It felt like the tone of the Boba Fett show, which I wasn't a big fan of.
Oh. I'd say it felt less like a Western, but I wouldn't put it as goofy as the Boba Fett show. But
Not as goofy, but go in that direction.
The standoff with
yeah.
the pirates, pretty Western.
that's true. That was
For
a
sure.
Western. But I will actually go towards JD. It was Western, but it also kind of had a little Boba Fett feel to it with the pirate himself. I thought he was kind of overacting. So
Yeah.
it was Western and it was kind of Boba Fettish in that one scene out in front of the daycare. But all right, yeah, Love. Unsatisfied or satisfied? What do you think?
I'm going to go in the middle. I'm going to split it.
It's not a word.
One.
No,
Mid
because
satisfied.
when it comes to premieres of, season 1, season 2, we probably had better premieres than season 3.
Mm-hmm.
Just because of the length,
Yeah.
and the first 2 seasons started off with bangers. And this, there were a couple scenes of, catching people up on what happened in Boba Fett. And, I enjoyed it. It was fun. I think Grogu was probably the best part of the episode. He was just hilarious the whole time. But yeah, it was nice to it was nice to be back into the Mandalorian world for sure.
Straight up. I went to defend it against you guys initially, to like compare it to other premieres for seasons. But then I was like, damn, actually, season 1 premiere was great. Like, that was the IG-11 at the end of the episode. They found Grogu. We get like, okay, so no, never mind. Season 1 was way better. Then I thought of season 2, and the season 2 premiere was good, but I don't know. That was when they went to the Marshal and they taught the Tuskens and the villagers how to fight the big sandworm. And I don't know. I didn't remember the premiere of season 2 being incredible, where it like blew me away either.
Right.
So I would say it was probably a tiny bit better than this one, because this one was just so short.
Right.
But I'm rocking with Satisfied after it. I was enjoying it the whole time. So
I can't wait to see where it goes. Right, to see where Bo-Katan comes in, the Darksaber comes in, Mandalore comes in, Grogu's development.
Ton of potential. Yeah, dude. So we'll just kick it right off. That intro scene with the Mandalorians. So that was dope. I loved seeing the armor craft a helmet like that. Like, that was really cool seeing an actual Mandalorian helmet being forged and created. I will say the scene could have been better, because I feel like Mandalorians are supposed to be, again, top of the top. They are incredible warriors. And their strategy against that monster crocodile for the first half of that was just dumb. Like, they weren't using jetpacks. Now, again, and I'm saying this enjoying the scene, too, because it was still fun. But after it ended, I'm like, okay, they didn't use jetpacks for the first half of that. Like, they're just getting tail whipped by this thing. They jumped onto the 3-foot thick back shell of it to plant little grenades on it. Like, maybe put that anywhere else on the body. I don't know. They just didn't seem to be very effective as they were fighting this beast. But
Yeah, I wasn't a real big fan of the intro. I did think it was a flashback at first. I thought that was a young Din.
okay.
I thought the helmet she printed, it looked kind of like a 3D fan art thing. Maybe it was just the paint job on it, but it looked kind of knockoff.
It did. I enjoyed the process more than the finished product.
And why don't they just run back in the cave? I know they're like badass Mandalorians, but there's only like 30 of you left. And why are you going to like fight this thing? Like, he's kind of just minding his own business, coming out for a little food, run back inside, and he'll go back in the water. And the whole point of the scene was really just to reiterate what exactly happened in Boba Fett. It was the same conversation with added
armor.
info, basically.
Right. So I think I kind of thought that too. I was like, go back inside, but then they're Mandalorians, so literally their
Right.
culture this is like fun. They're like, oh, dope,
Yeah.
a challenge kind of deal. And I do remember back in the day, the mythosaurs they used to ride, like the giant dinosaur looking things that their symbol is and everything. So that used to be like your induction ceremony. When you swore your oath, then they had you try to wrestle a mythosaur. So I almost was thinking this was like a part of it. If the armor didn't like kind of freak out and tell the kids to get inside when it rolled up, it would have made sense to be a part of the initiation. I think they should have leaned into that and not told the kids to run away and be like, all right, word, you're initiated. Here's your first test. But
But I will say one thing. Did they leave the volume, or did the volume get bigger? Because this scene looked, different than past shows where I feel like, and even when they go to Navarro, I feel like the show got bigger in scale overall.
Navarro for sure.
And just everything, really.
I'm trying to think. Actually, Bo-Katan's even hers did. I didn't notice it with the crocodile at the start, but because it kind of felt the same as the sandworm, the cinematography of season 2.
The sandworm was pretty big.
But yeah, I know. I wonder if they started using it less.
I've gotten so comfortable with the voice of Pedro Pascal from The Last of Us, and then this. He's just like,
I know.
Just all we're watching lately.
Love him being a protector.
yeah. I guess he's protecting a child in both of them.
Yep. So that scene though, real quick, with the armor talking to Mando about the living waters of Mandalore and all that, and she's like, "It's
the waters
done,
of
bro.
Lake Minnetonka.
It's poison." Lake Minnetonka. What is that from?
Prince, Chappelle Show.
Ah, yes.
Purify yourself.
Pancakes. Yeah. So anyway, she's telling Mando that, and she's obviously very convinced that it's done, it's poison, it's unlivable, and he shows her that thing, which she's like, okay, well, all this does is prove that it's been, fusion. I forget the term she used, ice fusion or whatever the hell. I'm absolutely nailing it. But anyway, she's basically saying like that's just proof that the planet's destroyed from all the attacks, and Mando keeps telling her like, just let me go and check and find out. And he kind of has a similar conversation with Bo-Katan later in the episode, and it just kind of made me think these are two very opposite Mandalorians, Bo-Katan and the armor. Like, they obviously have two major similarities, but other than that, they're very much polar opposites. And one of that thing is holding on to their destroyed home planet as kind of like fuel. Like, they both use their destruction of their home of Mandalore and everything as fuel and as motivation that drives everything they've done since that point in their life. Like, that's literally part of who they are at this point, is the history of Mandalore being destroyed. And so it gets to a point where I almost feel like they feel reluctant to find out that it isn't destroyed because they've based so much of their life on that fact, and they don't want to accept that maybe they were wrong about it.
Right.
But so I feel like they're going to have two opposite reactions. I feel like Mando is going to prove that it's not poisoned, and the armor is going to be ecstatic and come, but Bo-Katan is also going to come, and that's going to start off this whole Mandalorian civil war that's going to happen in this season. And I think it's going to be because of that. It's going to be Bo-Katan and the armor, two different sides of things, both coming, learning that their planet isn't destroyed now, and it's just going to be an insane civil war between the two. But I got that it was the opener and the capstone to the episode. It was the armor and Bo-Katan both talking about Mandalore, and it worked really well for me in that regards, because it felt like it gave me a good hint of what was to come. I got a good theory regarding it, and it felt well written in regards to that being the start and finish of the episode.
Maybe you guys can help me with this one. So what kind of numbers are we dealing with as far as Mandalorians? Are there thousands of Mandalorians out there? Are there hundreds or dozens?
No one knows, really.
It's unknown.
Okay.
Yeah, because they were thought that all the clans had been wiped out in the Purge, but then as years go by, more and more clans are surfacing, and they're finding, oh, shoot, the Watch has a bunch of people. Like, oh, shoot, Night Owls, there's a decent amount. Oh, because Bo-Katan, when she's telling Mando, she's like, my army left me. So it's not like it was just the two people that were with her in season 2. Like, she had numbers apparently, and they all left because she didn't return with the Darksaber. So you got that. You got Death Watch, which I know most of them got wiped out on Navarro in season 1, but who knows how many of them were on planet at that point. But yeah, it's unknown. It could be any hundreds. Who knows?
Yeah, and then on the Purge. So again, if you could help me out with this one. So why were the Mandalorians affected by the Purge at all, since they are not Jedis?
So the Purge refers to a different Purge. It wasn't the Order 66 Purge. It's the Purge. Well, I don't remember exactly when it happened.
It's after.
After Order 66. I think so, too. Yeah, it is. It is. But yeah, they just purged Mandalore. Essentially, I forget the main reason other than them being a threat and being independent. But I think Beskar was a main reason, too.
Yeah. Well, no one really knows.
No one knows who's responsible for the Mandalorian Purge.
Oh, the Empire. They came in and
it was
absolutely obliterated it. Yeah.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Yeah. They would seem like a threat to the Empire.
Yes. Okay. So they did it because they realized they would never be able to control Mandalore as they tried to, establish
Gotcha.
this foothold and everything. And so they just
Sounds
decided
like
to
the Empire.
Blow it up.
launch the Great
Bunch of
Purge.
pricks.
Like, man, these people are way too like strong and independent. Let's just commit some genocide.
Yeah.
But dude, Mando swooping in the Naboo starfighter. I mean, I'm here for any scene with him flying around in that thing because it's just so badass. Like, it's quickly becoming one of my favorite starfighters in Star Wars. Like, it's just so sick. Like, and he just swoops in and takes it out with ease. I just love that thing.
I loved every scene with the starfighter. It looks sick, and he fits pretty good into it. And it's very maneuverable. It's fun to watch. The space battle in the meteorite showers was cool because of that ship, I think.
Yeah. Well, he's in a totally different stage of his journey. He's not collecting bounties anymore, so he doesn't really need the big, Razor Crest. The ship fits him perfectly where he is in his journey. So we get into our next scene. They dip out, they jump into hyperspace to go to Navarro. And for those of you who didn't catch it, or maybe you did and you were just wondering why the hell there were giant squid-looking things flying around in hyperspace as they flew. Yeah. Little weird wiggly squigglies flying around in hyperspace, but those are actually huge in the lore of Star Wars right now. And I'm going to just real quick break you down. There's not much to break down because I don't know a whole lot about
Break you down, baby.
I'm going to break you down all about sperm whales. So those are purrgil, also known as space whales. So you can just go ahead and call them space whales because that's what they are. But they're purrgil. And we first saw them in Rebels. So again, they're space whales that can travel through hyperspace. So they have the ability to literally just go into hyperdrive, nature's hyperdrive. And they were used long ago as tools for navigation and exploration and stuff back in the day. But since then, they've kind of just retreated into deep space and not a lot of people even really know about them. But yeah, so they have the ability to jump into hyperspace. And we saw that in Rebels. So we saw them in a few episodes, but we saw them finally in the finale where Ezra manages to call them. I don't remember if he calls. Yeah, he calls them. He summons them essentially as him and Thrawn are duking it out. Which, spoiler alerts, if you hadn't watched Rebels and you plan on watching it, I'm about to say what happens in the finale. So, earmuffs. But anyway, they're both fighting to the death, and these purrgils wrap up Thrawn and Ezra, and they transport them through hyperspace. So they take Thrawn out of the fight, but they also take Ezra, and everybody in Rebels now has no idea where they went. Which is leading to the Ahsoka series, which a main plot point is going to be, Ahsoka already said it in season 2. Where's Grand Admiral Thrawn? And he disappeared with Ezra Bridger, who is a Jedi and was one of the main characters in Rebels. So this all kind of points to that. And all to say, like, this could just be a throwaway Easter egg to kind of like get people to be like, oh, purrgil, but I feel like it's got to be more than that with the Ahsoka series coming up. It's just such a strong connection between the end of Rebels and Ahsoka and Thrawn that it feels like it has to be intentional.
Or even just a teaser for Ezra and Thrawn are coming in Ahsoka.
That's true. Yeah, it could just be. Yeah, I guess that's kind of what I was. A throwaway Easter egg to kind of get you. But yeah,
Ezra's already cast, isn't he?
Yeah.
Was that official? Yeah. I thought he was, and then I saw like something else that was a strong rumor, and I was like, "What? I thought it was official."
And those were the first time we've seen space whales in live action.
Yeah, It's only been Rebels.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, no, it does say official. Amon Esfandi.
Yeah. Aladdin?
So is he? I think he's in Ahsoka, right? Is he? I wonder if he will show up in Ahsoka.
Yeah, that's what he's listed as in IMDb is for the Ahsoka series. So
that's actually really exciting. That'd be cool.
When does that release?
Right.
Is that this year?
All right.
Yeah. Late 2023. Sorry, what's up?
Let's tease our new segment. Buy or sell Thrawn in this season of Mandalorian.
Ooh.
Oh.
I'm going to sell it. I'm going to sell it for this season.
I'm selling.
No, I'm gonna buy it. He's coming in the finale, baby.
Show me the
Moff
money.
Gideon's working with Thrawn.
Give me some
Bro,
love. I want it.
my
I want
God. Actually, I'm gonna rent that out to somebody. I'm gonna rent it out.
Okay.
Maybe I'll take it back later.
it. I'm going to pawn it.
I'm gonna get a tenant to hold on to this for a few months. Yeah, it's nice. Buy or sell. Tune into our Week in Geek episodes to check out a little ditty we got
Nice.
going.
Got a little dick here for you.
Come to Week in Geek. We got a bunch of little dicks. Head on over.
Don't call us geek for nothing.
Oh, so yeah, that was exciting. So we pull up to Navarro, and Navarro just improves every season. Like the first season, it was just garbage. It was just a hive of scum and villainy. But, now it's a flourishing, respectable place where pirates aren't really allowed. It's like a peak society, Salacious B. Crumb, that homie used to be burning over an open fire. Now he's got a family living in the trees of the streets of Navarro. Look at him go.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a rags to riches story, if you ask me. So, yeah, you got schools, bustling businesses, like pretty solid job by the High Magistrate Grief Karga. Good work, man. I gotta say, did you guys catch the Predator handshake between Grief and Mando when they met each other?
The meme?
Yeah, because that's Carl Weathers. He's
Right.
the one who does it with Arnold. It totally looked like the handshake clasp thing.
Oh, my God.
I felt like they did that shit intentionally, but yeah, so IG-11 is the big thing that kind of comes out of this, obviously. So season 1, first episode, he's the one who is with Mando, goes to kill Grogu. Mando kills him to stop him. Then, I've spoken, ends up turning him into a wet nurse and revives him. IG-11 comes back and saves Baby Yoda at the end of season 1 before wiping out everybody, and then he sacrifices himself to save the group. So he was a dope droid, and he was instrumental in Mando's switch from hating all droids to being accepting of droids. He played a big role. So I thought that was exciting. It's kind of cheap to bring him back, but he is a droid, so it is more explainable to be able to bring a character back like that. Kind of cheapens his sacrifice, but I'm here for it. I'm good with more IG-11. Like, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you even care about this, or was that exciting for you?
Yeah, I guess I'm more on the side of I didn't care too much.
Word.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't quite understand why he needed him the first time I watched. And then I watched back. I was like, okay, he needs him for Mandalore because he's the only droid he trusts, and he needs to make sure that it's safe, I guess. Send a droid out there first.
Yeah, like a poison thing. Yeah, I really think he just misses him. but yeah, he needs somebody else to go with him, and nobody else will go. I mean, to be fair, he tried to recruit Bo-Katan after this IG-11 thing. It's not like Bo-Katan turned him down and then he was like, all right, well, I guess I'll get a droid then. So,
Right.
Like I said, it was a little cheap. It did feel like, but I'm here for it. I'll be a shill for this one. I liked IG-11, so.
I think the best part of Navarro was that Grogu was in his bag. When he's in the
It was
chair,
so funny.
spinning
Just
around.
force spinning.
And then he force pulls the jelly bean. And then later, when they're with all the Babu Fricks, he grabs one and it's like, please, no squeezy.
no squeezy.
Bad baby.
Yeah. Yeah. Seeing Babu Freaks. I thought that was cool. Again, it's kind of like a fan
No, I like
service
that.
deal, but I liked it. The
Grogu's sitting down.
is ready.
Mando sitting down Indian style. Or cross-leg.
Whoa. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Get him out.
Okay, but when IG-11 came back as the Terminator droid, that was pretty terrifying. How he was like crawling on the ground for a second, and then the droid just pushes the statue over, which is kind of funny. But it was creepy.
It was creepy, but I had an issue with that scene. Was Mando trying to miss? The dude was 5 feet away from a crawling
Right
droid
in front
and was
of him.
just hitting all over the place. And he hit his body a few times, but holy crap, bro. He missed so many times. It's like, are you intentionally missing right now? Did you become a stormtrooper between seasons? What is happening right now?
He thinks he's Joel from The Last of Us.
Yeah, apparently he forgot to leave that part in that show. It was just that scene alone. I was like, I don't understand why he's just unloading and missing a half robot right now. Like, why is this scene dragging on for so long? But, yeah, Baba Freak was cool though. And then obviously the pirate thing. So I didn't think much of this scene. I thought the lead pirate kind of looked goofy, like very fake. I thought the prosthetics and everything were, I know it's Star Wars, but it just kind of felt even less realistic. I like the fact that the gang, had Trandoshans and a Weequay and some other, species we've seen in prior Star Wars, but I don't know. I didn't think much of this scene.
I wasn't a fan of the makeup or the CGI. It had to have been makeup because it looked real.
Mm-hmm.
It just looked like a fake version of real, like
Like
he was wearing a mask.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, it was whatever. We did get one thing in Navarro, which I wasn't sure if they were going to address this or not. We got a throwaway line addressing Gina Carano's ban from Disney. She gets banned, but Ezra Miller's still leading Flash and all that. Nothing makes sense. But anyway, he goes, obviously, Gina Carano got kicked off of the show and a bunch of stuff for a controversial tweet. And so she's out of the show now. And she was kind of a big character that they were growing. She became the marshal. Like they were getting her a bigger role. So Grief Karga threw the throwaway line of, oh, well, Marshall Dune got recruited by a deep special forces unit or something. It was just like, okay, thanks, I guess. But I was wondering if they were going to address that, though.
She wasn't a great actor or actress.
That's what I was just about to say. She was bad.
Yeah.
She was a bad actress.
I have more of an issue with the reason behind it and not so much her being gone from the show. I don't know. It just,
So
I'm
what
not
was
gonna
the
get
tweet?
into it. She said somebody was acting like Nazis. She called somebody Nazis in the way that they were being. It might have been about COVID. I don't remember what it was, but it was something like that where she.
I think it was
referred-
multiple. It was a
Can't
couple.
just refer to a group of people anymore.
There was
What
some
if that
like
person was
there was some trans
being abusive
things
or
too.
something.
I never saw anything about the trans stuff. I just remember seeing the Nazi. She shared an image of Nazi Germany referring to.
But I think it was multiple tweets that she had over a span. And if you work for Disney and you're like a publicly traded company worth billions of dollars, and Mickey Mouse calls you up one night and says, "Hey, you got to stop tweeting shit that like starts a fire on Twitter, if you want to work for us." And that's kind of how it goes. Like if you want to work for Disney, you kind of got to follow their rules. I mean,
Well, yeah. If it's one of those things where she tweeted it 7 years ago, but is this something she tweeted during, like after she was already? So that is kind of dumb. You do have to really be careful. Like even we have to be careful on this show. Like some things seem like a casual joke, but to other people it could be very offensive. And even we're not big Disney stars, but we still have the, what do you call it? We still have the mindset to be careful with what we say.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree with that. And it's just, maybe I'm just more so angry with the thing we live in today. And I don't know, I'm not going to get into it.
There's worse examples of
it
cancel
sucks.
culture for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So one of her tweets was Jeff Epstein didn't kill himself. Something else with the Jews thing, and then I didn't see the stuff. Oh, she addressed the trans thing where she said, "I'm not against trans lives at all. They just need to find less abusive representation," and then deleted it.
I don't really.
But
I don't
it just
understand what
they
she's
weren't
trying to do.
crazy controversial things exactly.
Right, that's
But
not-
again, I don't know. But
I
anyway,
don't agree with Disney, but yeah, she should be careful. But again, she does not deserve to get fired.
yeah, it's just it is what it is. It's the world we live in today. And yeah, to be honest, it's not a huge loss to the show at all. So it's whatever.
Yeah.
And went too far into that than I even plan on doing anyway. So yeah, Gina Carano, there you go. I met her once actually. Went to a wedding. She was there.
what?
She seemed nice. Yeah.
That's sick. I love her in the UFC. Dude, I love watching her beat ass. I don't even know if I
she
can say that.
Bellator?
I meant watching her fight other people.
Yeah, she wasn't UFC.
Bellator, I
was
think.
she was
Yeah,
something MMA.
She was in
though.
UFC. I'm almost positive she was in UFC.
I don't think so. She was like the biggest female fighter it was Strike Force. She was on she was in Strike Force and Elite X, but she wasn't UFC.
Oh, okay.
Strike Force was big for a minute.
Apparently at one point she was booked to fight Cyborg.
Shit.
and left for I don't know, whatever. I don't know why we're still talking about Gina Carano. My bad. I was just was talking about that throwaway line. But anyways,
would have been funny if they said, "Oh, Cara Dune, you didn't hear? She died."
Oh, she got hit by a bus. She's dead.
She fell off a cliff. She's dead.
What's the other Billy Madison? Yeah, she fell off a cliff. She's dead.
That was Happy Gilmore, not Billy Madison.
There you go. That's what
or Bob Iger in a costume walks up behind him, explains it, explains her death.
That would have been better. So let's jump into the dogfight, man, because that was probably the most exciting part of this whole episode, I would imagine. Stupid pirates. Like, this fool just took out your whole crew. Well, I guess he wasn't stupid. He had the entire massive ship behind him. He was leading him into a trap. So it was actually a smart pirate. But that was dope. It definitely had vibes of Django and Obi-Wan having their little chase through the asteroid fields in Attack of the Clones.
Right.
It's just so fun watching that ship maneuver like that, man. And then the part where he disappears and then he's shooting the ships from off screen, and every time he hits the ship, it plays the Mando theme tune.
Right.
That was great. Nailed it. That was dope, though. Super fun scene to watch.
He's not pulling that off, or it's not as easy in the Razor Crest.
Oh, no. Absolutely not. Like, no, it's perfect what he's in now. Like, who's going to stop that fool? And then he blasts past the main ship. The main ship, though, what are we doing with the pirate? Tell me that didn't look exactly like Swamp Thing. It looked like a Swamp Thing Halloween costume.
Mixed with the Pirates of the Caribbean villain in
Yeah.
like the second or third movie.
Yeah.
Davy Jones.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Davy Jones mixed with Swamp Thing from Party City. And that's what that character was. Like, that was just...
I kind of liked him. I liked
interesting.
I didn't like the costume, but I liked his vibe. He had a good vibe going.
The pirate captain?
Mm-hmm.
Or... okay.
Yeah.
That one felt a little Boba Fettish to me, but it was like a 3.5 second scene, so I didn't really care. But
I love that move he has that Pelimoto installed. The flip of the switch, and you can't even be tracked or tractor beamed. It just gets you out of any situation.
All right, so before we end it, the last scene, obviously, Bo-Katan. Honestly, it's a bit anticlimactic. I kind of expected more out of the scene. Reckless speculation, real quick, though. Ring the bells of reckless speculation. Did Katie Sackhoff have some work done or something? Because she looks way, way different this season than she did last season. Like, and I noticed it in the episode, and then I saw an interview today of her on the red carpet, and she looked even more different than she did last season. So if you did, Katie, you didn't need it. You were a great looking gal before. You didn't need to mess with anything. I don't know if you did. It's reckless speculation. But I looked it up to see if it was the same actress. I was like, that's not Katie Sackhoff. It's like, oh shit, it is. But did you guys get that vibe from it?
Well, before she looked like, I don't know, younger, maybe slimmer, maybe more colorful, if that sounds. Maybe she's on creatine. I don't know, but I did think she looked a little different.
She's definitely been working out. She's jacked. Her neck is bulging.
Yeah, she's
looks
got
like she's about to join
Angela
the WWE.
Bassett traps.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just, I don't know. She just looked way, way different than she did last season. It was interesting. I couldn't stop looking at it. But yeah, it was kind of anticlimactic. Not much happened. She's just very bitter. She's kind of, Last Jedi Luke Skywalker vibe going on with her right now. She just doesn't care about anything.
Yeah, it does make sense with the time span that we know now, where it's been 1 to 2 years. 1 to 2 years.
Yeah,
so,
that's fair.
So she came back without the Darksaber, and all these people that she had united. She had a stolen fleet of starships, and she came back without the Darksaber. So everyone was like, "All right, well, we're out of here. Like they're mercenaries now." And it was kind of funny how she says, "Just take your Darksaber out and just wave it around, and they'll do whatever you say. Like take your dick out and wave it around."
I did not get that from it, but I appreciate the different take. But yeah, I mean, yeah, she was definitely very, very salty. But we got what we needed out of the scene. You know, she told him where the living waters were. You know, she goes, you can find it under the mines in Sundari, which Sundari is the capital city of Mandalore, which we mentioned episode 58 of the Mando Study Guide. If you want to go and check that out.
Who was that?
Need a
Talked about
lozenge?
Oh, I need more downloads. Yeah, but anyway,
Testosterone.
Yes, we called that. We're gonna see the remains of the domed city Sundari, which again we explained why there's domes and all that. Go ahead and check it out. I won't ask again, but I probably will.
I do.
Yeah, it was whatever.
One more thing on the
Yeah.
convo.
Yeah,
Mando's a nerd, man. Like when you keep saying, "I need to go, purify myself from my transgressions," it's like, come on, man, get over yourself. Like,
it's in a cult.
I understand it's a cult and you've been in it your whole life, but like, you did it for a good reason. Like, and if they think that's wrong and you can't be in their cult anymore, then maybe you shouldn't have been in there in the first place. Like. They should
Maybe
understand.
they weren't your real friends after all.
Yes, like I don't know. I think I don't like that part of his character about how narrow-minded he is about his religion. Yeah, basically.
I kind of like it just because it's a unique character trait than we usually get for our main character. We usually don't have main characters who have this cult-like mentality. They're kind of almost like they're the hero and stuff, but they're flawed. They still have that like brainwashed going on in them. So that's kind of the reason why I like it, just because it's a new take on a main character.
I get that makes sense, but he's still a nerd.
I get what you mean. He's still a nerd. Go back and find that nice lady on that planet with the blue little krill,
right.
And take your helmet off.
Dude, go to Navarro.
Yeah,
any
or
piece
just take
of land
that nice
you
plot
want.
of land. Shoot, man, I'd take 40 acres right now. I'll go to Navarro, get some nice. What did he call it? It's a nice plot, I think. I don't remember, but
get a nice underground tunnel to the brothel. You know what I
baby.
mean?
It was actually too obvious for a baby. So yeah, pretty short episode, and I get overall the long term of not enough happened, not a lot really kicked off in this, and I agree. But yeah, I think when I went in and I saw the runtime, when we got to the pirate ship dogfight scene, I thought I was expecting credits after that because I saw the time. And so I think when another scene happened and we got Bo-Katan, it was like a nice surprise to me. So I was like, oh, dope. Okay, well, this is sick. Because I just expected it to end. So I think that helped me with it watching. But yeah, I don't know. I thought it was a solid intro. I'm excited for the next season. The next episode for the rest of this season. And we'll be covering it every episode.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. Like, I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it by any means. Like, it was great to be back, and I am very excited for the season. And I'm really glad they had that Bo-Katan scene at the end.
Yeah, I was actually going to agree with that too. That was my favorite thing because that kind of set the tone from what the whole story is kind of about, or a lot of it anyway. Right. So we definitely needed that. It definitely ended on a better note. Like the first 3/4 was and then the spaceship fight happened, and then you got the Bo-Katan thing. So that was a good way to end it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess the tone was probably more what you're looking. It was definitely not a Boba Fett show tone. It was way darker and serious because she was, in such a bad place and everything.
Right.
Yeah.
I like Grief Karga though. He's a dope side character. So
dude, I love him. I just love Carl Weathers.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's just a fun guy to be
It's what you get in Mando. You have to, but not for
blue
that's
skies,
like a
green grass, birds are chirping.
But Grief Karga is like a good episode 3 or 4. Put him in the middle of the season, not in the first episode.
Well, but they probably won't go back to Navarro. I don't want them to be back on Navarro in episode 4. I want them to be in Mandalore and yeah. Well, hopefully that's next episode. He needs to go to Mandalore. Like, I don't want him dicking around in Navarro until
he has to get the
5.
Part. He has to get the part and then bring it back, and then there's going to be a problem on Navarro. For the part? Like, I don't know. He went decided to stop by Bo-Katan first.
Right.
And ask a couple questions.
She like a well-known IG-11 parts dealer? Or like, why did you go there? But
when it's very close to Mandalore, too, so now he's going to have to fly back, get the part, and then go right back to the planet next to it. Hey.
It'll be on Tatooine.
This guy does not care
Oh.
about the environment.
Oh god, he's totally going for JD. You're so right.
God.
You
Come
always gotta
on.
go back.
Well, they showed the
Oh.
lady. He's going back.
Oh, did they?
I think so. Yeah.
What, in the trailer or something?
Yeah.
Or okay. Was there a next on thing? Like,
No,
next
there
episode?
wasn't. There
Okay.
wasn't.
Okay, I didn't stick around for it, but you're probably right. And I'm pretty sure he's actually going to get a droid for his astromech to go with in his Naboo starfighter. And the rumor is it's going to be R5, who was in the first movie, New Hope, the red and white droid, astromech droid. So yeah, the rumor is he's going to put a droid in there, and Grogu's just going to be flying around with him in the cockpit. So he probably will go to Tatooine. He'll
likes
get
it on the lap.
R5
He likes
from
it on the lap.
Pelimoto. Yeah, that's why he's got the shit, bro. We need to see that view of Grogu on his lap and him just cruising through space. But you're right. We're going back to Tatooine, damn it. But anyways, that wraps it up. We went a little longer than expected. We just had to talk about Gina Carano for a while, so it was worth it.
And Space Whales.
Yeah, Space Whales too. So, as always, thank you so much for joining us. We genuinely enjoy doing this, and we enjoy knowing that people are out there listening. So, go ahead and follow us on social media. Give us takes, requests, insults, whatever you want to do. We're there for you. Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Why So Sidious Pod, and go to Why So Sidious Podcast page on YouTube, please. That's something new we're trying to grow. JD was very against the idea, but we had to convince him and be like, dude, we need to go to YouTube. That's where it's at. And he said, you're all stupid, but we're here. It's the opposite. But anyway, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to my co-hosts, Caleb Culver and Jeremy Dar, for joining me. And we will see you next time on Why So Sidious, a nerd podcast.